Welcome to episode 553 of the Grit to Greatness Endurance Podcast. I'm your host, Coach Rich Soares, and I'm on a mission to help endurance athletes train smarter, race stronger, and build the grit it takes to achieve greatness. Hey, I'm really excited today. I'm joined by Chris Sjothun, who's a Grit to Greatness athlete, and his journey is so powerful. It is such a great example of what transformation really looks like. And he is going to bring some truths to this topic that I think people need to hear. And so, he's faced one of the biggest challenges in triathlon, overcoming, the swim of a 70.3. And after multiple attempts, setbacks, and some lessons learned, he successfully completed Salem 70.3 swim and finished the race strong. We're going to dive into the mindset shifts, the training breakthroughs, the persistence that turned one of his greatest obstacles into one of his greatest victories. Hey, I'm really excited to have you here with me, Chris. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Rich. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah. Well, let's have some fun here. Before we get into all of that, we're going to, like I said, you're going to hear about how consistency, resilience, patience, and belief in the process can overcome even the biggest barriers. So whether you're struggling with open water swimming, race day confidence, self-doubt, or simply chasing a goal that feels out of reach, Chris's journey is going to reach you, I think. And so we're excited to share that with you. But before we do, Chris, you want to do me a favor? You want to have some fun with this? You want to be a part of this with me?
Heck yeah, let's do it.
All right. How about I do this? I am going to give a shout out to the first person on here. So it's going to go like this. Hey, congratulations to all the Grit to Greatness athletes who raced last weekend. And this weekend, we're really excited. We've got Mike Murphy racing the USA Cycling Track Cycling Nationals, August 5th and 7th this weekend. And I'm going to let you read out the second one.
You got to pull it up.
Don't mean to put you on the spot here. Tell you what.
Okay, so is this one where you and Mike Murphy are racing the Cycle to the Summit on August 8th?
Perfect. That's wonderful.
There we go.
All right. I'm going to get this next one. Coach KO, Lindsay Holmes, Anna Marie, and Emily Hansen all racing the Niantic Bay Sprint on August 9th. And I'll let you get this last one.
Alice Kostrich, Maren Thornhill, Sarah Barr, and Ruth Fountain racing USAT Nationals in Milwaukee on August 8th through 9th. Very exciting. Good luck to everybody.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, good luck, everybody racing this weekend. We're excited for you. That you four ladies going out to Milwaukee, we cannot wait to hear your stories. And folks, if you are new to Grit to Greatness, you don't need to be coached to be a part of this great community. If you're just looking for support, inspiration, and a group of athletes who truly understand what it takes to balance life, work, and endurance sport, we would love to meet you. Come and visit our website, read from our athletes and their testimonials. We've got a link here in the show notes. Come check it out. Heck, and even just listen to Chris here. You're going to learn a lot. So listen, I'm really excited. We're going to get into this right now, Chris. I just want to set up for our audience. You and I started working together a couple of years ago. When we started working together, you were just beginning this journey. So take us back. Who was the Chris before endurance sports became such a big part of your life?
Yeah, so I played a lot of sports as a kid: baseball, basketball, football, tennis, everything. Up and actually through high school a little bit. Then after that, I went more into the business world. So I kind of got away from sports outside of the company softball league, which is a terrible idea. But not a whole lot until my probably late 30s. I started having kids and got them into some kung fu. So I was taking them to classes there and figured, well, if I'm going to sit here for 2 hours, I might as well participate. So I did that and actually got my black belt and became an instructor and went in, hook, line, and sinker like I do with things. But then after that, not a whole lot. And then my wife and I went to Hawaii for her birthday. And while I was there, Kona had just wrapped. So I knew about Ironman. I was familiar with it just growing up. I remember it being on TV. But I didn't really understand the distances and really what went into it. So I spent the vacation just learning about Ironman. And before we were ready to come home, I was ready to sign up. I'm going to prove I still got it. So I did. We come back and started training for it. Did everything wrong. Did everything they said don't do. And then finally, I conceded and went the much better route. And that's where Rich and we started working together, and it's been fantastic ever since. I really have. I've learned so much, and it's been such a journey. Not just physically, but spiritually, everything. I mean, there's no aspect of your life, and in my life, that it hasn't touched.
One of the things I've noticed is, I mean, like, I look at you now and like, I look at older pictures of you. I don't even recognize you. I mean,
Yeah.
there's
I actually showed a picture of my
transformation
brother, of all things. I showed my brother a picture, and he said, "Who's that?" I'm like, "That's me." He's all, "No way." But yeah, it's been it's a lot. It's 107 pounds is where I'm at, so it's been pretty crazy.
107 pounds that you lost.
Yeah,
Is that right?
yeah,
Wow.
107. Yeah.
That's remarkable. And you said something just a second ago. You said it was beyond the physical, right? Yeah, the physical was part of it, right? The physical changes. Then you also said the spiritual changes.
Mm-hmm.
Really want to dive more into that as we go deeper into this. So just let's not lose that, okay?
Absolutely.
So we now know what drew you into triathlon. It's Kona, right? And man, how can you how can you resist the allure of triathlon if you're out there at Kona? Now, we're starting small, right? So the very first, I'm going to go a little off script here. We're just going to talk about like the very first race that you were training for. What were you expecting was going to be the hardest part of this new experience?
I thought it was going to be the run. I've never been a very good runner, so I thought that running was going to be a challenge. I thought I was a good swimmer. And when you and I first met, like you asked me, "Are you a good swimmer?" Yeah, I'm a pretty good swimmer. And then we got out the camera, and no, I looked like a baby giraffe out in the pool, happened to fall in. So I had a long way to go in swimming. So I knew that physically it was going to be tough. I didn't know psychologically, what I was getting into, and the ups and the downs, and all the things that come along with it, and the rewards. Geez, I had no idea. I thought I was just going to have some bragging rights, and I have so much more than that.
Well, all right. So now take us through the very first race. So, we'd been working together for a little bit. We put a race on the calendar. Do you remember the race?
I remember I remember it well. It'll be 1 year next weekend. It'll be 1 year from that race.
Tell our listeners about this race. What's the distance of it? Where is it?
Yep.
What's it like? How big? How big?
Yeah. So it was here in Vancouver, Washington, where I live. It was the Columbia River Triathlon, and I signed up for the Olympic. So you start off swimming in the Columbia River. So you're going against the current halfway, and then you make the turn, and then you ride it back down. And it's there's not a lot of current. It really depends on the dam that's not too far away. So if it's not open, there wasn't, and that day there wasn't that much. It's at the Fisherman's Wharf, beautiful beach, and it's probably the biggest event here in Vancouver. At least there's some others around, but certainly one of the bigger ones. And I think there was 300 people that were there. So I signed up just to check the box before I move on to my A race, which was Florida in December of last year, which I'm sure we'll talk about at some point.
All right. So this race, Olympic distance, you get there. Take us through the day. How did the race unfold?
So, I mean, we had a plan. You and I, we had a plan. I got there. I was one of the first people there. I met up with the guy that we went to the swim school with in Denver, which was really cool. And we hung out. I had everything laid out. I had my checklists out. And I'm pretty sure you could tell I was a first time. It was my first race. I mean, it was perfect. Then the day was good. The weather was pretty good. We knew it was going to warm up, but I figured I'd be done before I got too warm. So, the nerves start kicking in a little bit. And then they called us all to the edge of the river, and it was time to go. So we all started swimming. I got through the swim. It was brutal. I thought that I was just I was fatigued, but really there's a lot more to it. But I did get through it. I was one of the last, and I ended up finishing the race. But I did everything wrong. I got on the bike. I didn't take one sip of water. Didn't throw down one gel. I was just enjoying just being on the bike, and it was a beautiful day. And and at the same time, it was not the first time I'd been on my bike for that length of time, so I really didn't want to let go of the handlebars either. But then it started warming up, and as I started running, I really started to feel the fatigue kicking in, and I think I bonked. Well, I don't think I bonked a little bit. It's a crazy feeling. Like I'm looking at my feet and I'm telling them to move, and they're not. So, but yeah, I finished the race. I was one of the last ones. I was the one that fell over through the finish line and kind of sat there in the fetal position for a little bit, get my head right. But yeah, I got it in the books. It wasn't pretty, but I crossed the line.
But man, yeah, you got every ounce of yourself that you had available after, but it was great. There were some lessons learned here that honestly, if it had gone perfect, you might not have respected how stark those, how bad the penalty can be, for not
Absolutely.
taking care of the nutrition.
Everything I've done since then, I am very hydrated, and I'm not afraid to throw down an extra gel just in case.
Yeah. All right. So swim was rough, but we were able to muddle through. Olympic distance, 1,500-meter swim. All right. Learn some things about nutrition, tune all that up, fast forward. Next big challenge.
Then I'm off to
Florida 70.3?
70.3,
Yeah. All right.
yeah. So kind of the same thing. We got there early. I felt good. I felt prepared. I'd spent a fair amount of time in the pool. I thought I could get through it. It's a lake swim. There's no current, so little extra work. But once I got out there, same thing. Air just gets like really high in my chest. I start getting a little panicky, and I could not put my face in the water. The lizard brain kicks in, and it's just said, no, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
So ended up didn't finish the swim and DNF there. So that was disappointing. That I didn't see that one coming. I didn't think my body was going to react the way it did once I jumped in the water. So that's the first indication to me that like there might be something more to this that we might want to dig into. So, and from there went on to Galveston.
Now between Galveston, a lot of time in the pool, right?
Yeah, a lot of time in the pool. I was swimming, a mile and a half, no problem, no issues, and my bike was really, really strong. I ran a little 10K, but I did really well in my first 10K. But I really felt good. It was a little trail run. I felt confident. I felt like that was going to be the one. So, and got my it's in salt water, so I had a little bit better buoyancy. So I felt like the chips were stacked in my favor, and thought for sure I was going to pull it off. So jumped in the water before I even hit the first buoy. Same thing. I just can't breathe. Like my heart is just pounding out of my chest. I watched it go from about 52 to like 115, just like that. It just jumped right up. So, but I didn't give up. I kept swimming, and I stopped a lot. Got to know the guys on the kayak a little bit. And I just kept going, and as I was making the rounds, the guys like, you can still make it, you can do it. And I buckled down, tried to make it, missed the cutoff by 3 minutes, and it's that was a big turning point for me, because I know how I felt when I DNF'd in Florida, and I got out of here and I'm like, hey, I just did a 1.2 mile swim. Good for me. That's fantastic. I can do it. I mean, at least I know I can. Just got to do a little bit faster.
I want to pause on that. That for our listeners, first of all, this is really key. I mean, this says a lot about your mindset, right? This is like a fixed mindset person would have they would have just lost their mind, right? This would have been a catastrophe, right? Like I missed it by 3 minutes. Are you freaking kidding me? But not you. You actually looked at that as a win. And I remember us talking about that and really wanting to celebrate that and wanting to celebrate that with you because it was a win. I mean, you're right. You completed 1.2. Yeah. 3 minutes shy. And were those 3 minutes there? Yes, you could have got those back. It was a time management issue. We got to talk about your time management maybe. But other than that, like you had it.
Yeah. Yeah. I left there head high.
Yeah.
I checked the box. I can do it.
But that didn't, but then you still were working on how do we make that better, right? So what were
Oh,
the
yeah.
things, what were the things that you intentionally did between now Galveston and now you're like, all right, I need a redemption race and it's going to be Salem 70.3, which just happened. Talk about like, what did you do intentionally that
A
was
lot.
different?
And I is you and I, we talked about it a
Well,
lot.
you did.
We really
I
had
didn't
to
swim one stroke of it.
we had to, yeah, but we had to talk through everything. So I bought a new wetsuit. I went sleeveless on the wetsuit to start, hoping that would be a little bit less restrictive. I went and talked to my doctor, and it's a thing. This divers' anxiety is a thing, and a lot of people have it. And the more I've talked about it, the more people come up like, I would like to talk about that. I did a class getting ready for the little clinic for the Salem. I had 3 people walk up to me and like, can we talk about it? Because there's a lot of people dealing with it. So, and you can't control it. You can manage it. And I've learned a lot, and obviously I've pulled it off, but
Talk
it's a
about it.
process. Yeah. So what I ended up doing, I put that on, I went with the sleeveless, and then I also found a really good close place to my work. And I just kept getting in the water, and I would just sit there and I'd blow bubbles, and I'm watching my heart rate the whole time. I spent more time just acclimating, both physically and psychologically to the water, paying attention to what happens when I put my face in the water. What does my heart rate do? And then I found, I can control it a little bit. Like I know it's going to jump, so let's kind of get right in my head, and then I started swimming and felt a lot more comfortable and went a little bit further out. We went where I went horizontal to the shore where I can always see something to see if that was the difference. I feel like I tried everything.
Well,
So
you also took advantage of a camp where they were going to swim the course. So talk about that because that was pretty key. You actually got in the water,
yep,
swam the whole course.
swam the whole course. It was 3 or 4 weeks before the race. I signed up for the camp through one of the local tri clubs here, and went down, and it was fantastic. I mean, if I went down there, finished the swim, and hopped in my car and came back, it was completely worth it. But we went out and we did a bunch of biking and some running as well. So a lot of time on the course, which was really cool. But from a swimming side, it was, you got in the water. I got in the water, and there was no time to blow bubbles. It was, we all jumped in and away we went, and it just didn't bother me as much. I recognized when I started to get a little worked up, and it's fast there. Everyone knows Salem is really, really fast. So, I was able to keep moving, but I felt really comfortable in the water. Nothing panicky. And then once I got past I don't know, maybe 100 yards, 200 yards, I didn't even think about it anymore. I was having a blast. I stopped twice, and not because I had to. I just wanted to look around. I wanted to check out where I was and take it all in. And it was a really good feeling. And when I got out there, and as I prepared for the race a couple of weeks later, it wasn't all consuming like it's been in the past.
Your confidence level went up so high that day. I could just tell, right? You just like the fact that you said I was just having fun looking around. I'm like, oh yeah, you were feeling calmer. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so let's really be, let's get to the tea here, right? Were there moments when you questioned whether a 70.3 finish was possible?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Galveston. I mean, I did finish the race, but I mean, there's always doubt. I mean, there's if you don't cross it, I'm thinking, well, maybe if I could do something different, maybe I can do these ultra marathons or who knows what. But really, leading up to Galveston, definitely. But then shortly after Galveston, not so much. I was feeling really good. All the time I spent on running and all the other things, I've spent more time just getting myself psychologically ready for that swim, and I was ready. Like I was very confident, and I did everything, that you taught me to do, and follow the plan, trust the plan. I think I've heard that a few times, or trust the process. I'm sorry, trust the process.
Well, and the process here was, you know, we went from really no experience doing this at all to, hey, by the time you were doing your first, well, certainly by Galveston, you knew that you could manage you had some skills to, some tools in your tool belt to manage the anxiety, right? I can get to, if I can go from kayak to kayak and just get to know the kayakers and have a good time management plan, I could probably get through this thing. To fully functioned, no stress, able to put your head down and actually swim it because you had done all of that work to understand the physiology of how your body's going to react, how to transition your body into it, how to actually, you know, get some experience on that course, get all of that familiarity. Those three, you were going down to that lake 3 days a week. You were in the water that much, and all of that exposure, I think, really made a big difference. What, in my view, what was different about the approach on race day? Or like, maybe just take us through race day. How did race day happen or unfold?
Well, I'm again just it was all planned out. You start a couple of days ahead, everything's laid out. All I have to do is just get up and go. So I know what I'm going to eat. It's the same thing every single time. So I was really calm on race day. I really didn't have the anxiety that I've had before. I was just ready to go down and knock it out. I was pretty excited. Now, that's how you feel, but then once you cross into the athletes only, then you're just like, okay, it was game time. It was time to get focused. So maybe a picture here and there, but outside of that, I'm here to drop my bike and do my thing and go home.
Describe the moment that you exited the water knowing that you had conquered that challenge.
Oh, I like $1,000,000. You run up a little spiral when you get out of the water there, and as I'm running up, people are walking. I'm running out of there. I looked at the guy with the wetsuit. You think I'd done it a million times, but I just pointed at him. I said, "You," and I ran to him, and he knew exactly what it was. And I did the same with the water people later on. Like you'd think that I'd done it a whole bunch, but I knew what I was there to do, and I just felt so great. And coming out, and my transition took a little bit longer than I liked, but I learned a lot. Won't make that mistake again. But I was excited. I felt very comfortable with my bike, and I felt very comfortable with the run. That if I had the opportunity to get out there, I felt like I was going to pull it off. So to me, I felt like I just won the race.
What have you learned about resilience through this journey?
Oh, it can be tough, but it's so rewarding. Signing up for an Ironman, it's definitely it's going to change your life for sure, and you're going to find out a lot about yourself, and just never quit. Always keep moving, as they say, or always be moving forward in Ironman, and that's how you get to the finish line. So, now I'm on to my next obstacle, or I call it my next summit. Like, what's my next summit going to be? And it's going to be Ironman California in October, and I'm training like crazy and feeling really comfortable, or confident. So it's pretty exciting.
My next summit, your next summit. Love that. Okay, so now listen, you're getting ready for this next summit. You've climbed a couple of summits behind you. You're now standing at this new place, look at this next summit. What are you bringing with you from those other experiences to help you be ready for this next summit? Like, what are the things that you're taking with you that you've collected in terms of skills and knowledge and
Sure.
and
I think at this point, after 2 years working with you, Rich, I feel like I have the tools. I have most of the tools. I'm sure there's more to learn, but now I'm just learning how to use the tools. So, I'm looking at just the littler, the smaller stuff, like we were talking about, like with my arms, or looking at shadows and that kind of stuff. But I think what I'm most of all what I'm taking is I know I can do it. I know I'm tough enough to do it. I've overcome much bigger things. I mean, finishing an Ironman is going to be such a huge accomplishment, but that's so is life. There's a lot of opportunity to make that summit and keep on trucking. So, and it's not just the Ironman has been. We talked about the spiritual side, professionally, my family, everything is it's touched by it. My wife was down there, and I was telling you, when I rounded the corner and she was there, and she just screamed how proud she was. Like, started getting a little choked up, but I still had 100 yards to go, and I couldn't breathe, so I had to get myself together and keep going. But it was really cool. It meant a lot to me, and it's been a crazy journey. But I can't believe where I'm at right now. I'm so excited where I think I'll be going in the future, and I just hope that I can get the word out that it's such an unbelievable experience to go through.
Yeah. Well, and your journey is continuing here. Like you said, you've got this other summit to come. Would you also share with our listeners, you're a very curious person. So you've got some innate resilience for sure, but you're also a very curious person. You like to learn. Tell our listeners like that you went through the coaching program that
I
TriDot
did.
offers.
Yeah.
Talk about that certification program.
Yeah. I do like to learn. I like to know what makes the wheels turn, and there's just so much information out there, So I started kind of noodling around with it. Then I thought, oh, what the heck? So I signed up for it, and I got through it. I got my certification a couple of weeks ago. Not exactly sure what I'll do with it. But it just, I learned so much going through it. Even after a couple of years, there's just always opportunity to get a little bit better, a little bit faster. So, but yeah, I think it's really cool. I like to say that I'm a certified coach now, but I always tell them that when I talk about my coach, it's capital C. When I talk about me as a coach, it's lowercase c. So I got a long way to go.
Oh, come on. It's been a great partnership. It's been transformative for me as well. All right. I'm going to got two things for you here. So first, if you could speak to the version of yourself who doubted he could finish the swim, what would you tell him today?
Yeah, this is going to sound cheesy. I want to say stay gritty is what I want to tell him. Just keep going, keep grinding. I mean,
Stay
at middle
gritty.
school, I couldn't swim 100 yards. Brought it up last time, and then I just did 1.2. So, okay, and that's also part of the journey. I go out and do these 5K time trials or time runs, and I'm just like, geez, I was hoping just to get it done in the 30 minutes before. Now I'm knocking it out so much faster. So don't count yourself out. We're, as human beings, I think there's a lot of potential. We just have to tap into it.
So I love you. Just be gritty. And for our listeners who may not know this, we have turned grit into an acronym, and it stands for the four values that for us are core to who we are as a group of coaches and what we believe is important for athletes. And those are gratitude, resilience, impact, and transformation. When I put those four values at your feet here, gratitude, resilience, impact, and transformation, which one calls you the most?
I want to say gratitude.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, why I would get my coaching certificate. If I was to do it, I would feel selfish if I kept all this to myself. Not knowledge wise, but just the opportunity and just the life changing that comes from it. I'm so grateful that we met. I mean, and I talked to you more than I talked to pretty much anybody else, I think. And we've come so far. We're friends and my coach, and we've been through a lot, and that's what's really cool about it. I've always said that you think that you're getting into an individual sport. You're out running by yourself, you're training by yourself, but you're really part of a community, and it's a really cool, such a cool community part of.
You bet. I'll tell you what, I'm feeling an enormous amount of gratitude myself right now too, and it's because of you. So this has been amazing. All right, let's have a little fun here. We're going to do transformation lightning round. You've got to answer each of these next questions in like, it's got to be less than a sentence. All right. Hardest workout you've ever completed?
It was a 10-mile run on Thanksgiving, and it was raining buckets.
Love that.
And it was
Good
cold.
one.
It was so cold.
Ooh. I got a shiver just thinking about raining in cool Vancouver, air in a downpour. All right. Most intimidating race morning?
Florida, for sure.
One word that describes Salem 70.3.
Wow. A chapter.
Just
Closing
one.
a chapter. One word. Geez.
Closing a chapter. Okay. That's right.
Yeah.
That's all right. Closing a chapter is good. Let's go with that. I love that. Favorite post-race meal?
Man, I know what I eat every Friday before the race. Probably pizza. I think that's kind of a staple for a lot of triathletes.
Yeah, I'm a cheeseburger guy. All right. Swim, bike, or run?
Bike. But actually, I'm going to say swim because I'm still yelling out, I love swimming. And one of these days it's going to stick.
Oh, love that. Swim. It's got to be swim for this, right?
Absolutely.
Biggest lesson from endurance sports?
Never underestimate what you're capable of.
Oh, love that. People so limit themselves. One piece of advice for athletes chasing a breakthrough?
I mean, I'd say get a coach and do it. It's a better journey. It's so much better to do it with a coach and being part of the community.
Yeah. All right. This is your last one. Finish this sentence. Transformation begins when?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. Transformation begins when you've committed to yourself, when you've made the commitment to yourself that you're worth it.
Oh, when you made the commitment to yourself that you're worth it. Oh my God, my heart just went. That was awesome. Chris, this has been amazing. Stay with me through the end here. Okay, buddy? Thank you for being on the pod. All right.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Whether you're preparing for your first sprint triathlon or tackling a 70.3 or chasing that Ironman dream like our buddy Chris here is, listen, let us help you be successful. Send us a message, connect with us through our website, just fill out the contact form, just get in touch with us. You can talk to Chris, you can talk to any one of our team. We just want you to be a part of our community. So follow your heart here, and we would love to talk to you. And to help you fuel along your journey here, this episode and all of our episodes are brought to you by Vespa Nutrition. Vespa helps you tap into steady, clean energy so that you can stay strong, focused, and in the zone longer. Chris, I mean, Vespa, does it work?
Oh, I couldn't imagine racing without it. It sounds really cliche, like commercially, but it's so true. It's just part of the routine. No, it's my watch, my Vespa, my chest, or my heart monitor, and away I go.
There you go. You can save 15% off of anything in your cart anytime. There's a code here, G2G Vespa 15 in the show notes. The link will take you right to it. Thanks for spending time with us today on the Grit to Greatness Endurance Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow us and leave us a rating on Apple Podcasts and YouTube. It helps us reach more athletes like you. Until then, stay gritty, train smart, and keep chasing greatness. We will see you next week.